So, hello to a new video. Before this one starts, I'm just going to make a few announcements. This video isn't just going to be a gaming channel, it's going to be about a lot of different stuff. This is going to be one of my first mathematics videos. So if you don't like math, you can get out of here. I will be doing gaming, but I'll put that in a separate playlist. This is a math video. Oh, and it also has some cuts. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, so this video is about triangle and square numbers, which already exist. Then I'm going to talk about how I came up with formulas for hexagon numbers and octagon numbers. And if you don't know what any of that means, don't worry, I'll explain it in the video. Anyway, let's move on. Ignore these lines, please. Okay, so you might have seen these dots and formulas and these shapes, and you might like, what does this mean? So basically, imagine there's like a triangle with 3 dots on each side, like this one. So you want to figure out how many dots are inside it. You can use this formula where n is the number of dots on each side. So for example, this is 3. E times n plus 1 is 4, because 3 plus 1 is 4, divide by 2. 3 times 4 is 12, divide by 2 is 6, which you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is the correct number. Now, of course, it might have been faster to count at this small scale, but when you get larger, it's easier to use this formula. Same thing with squares. N triangle, this you can say, n squared is n squared. That's the definition. But if you really want to be technical, it's any number squared means n times n, and that's the way you work out something's area. Like if you have 4 by 3 rectangle, you do 4 times 3 to get how many dots are inside. So n squared is n times n, 3 times 3. That's if you want to get like really deep down, detailed, technical. Third thing is this hexagon. Now, at first, let me talk about the triangles first. The way they figured it out is they took one triangle and they made it into this, like that shape. You can see that's the same triangle. Then they put another one on top to make it a 4 by 3 rectangle. Now, that's the same as an n, 3, times n plus 1, 4. That's where the n times n plus 1 comes through. But then again, you have to divide it in half, because the triangle is only half of the rectangle, so you do get the divide by 2. Simple stuff. Now, the hexagon one. I thought for the triangle, well, they put stuff together. What about for the hexagon, we split it apart? So I'd done this before, but I didn't remember how. But I knew we needed to remove the middle dot. So I circled that, and then I started drawing lines for triangles, but then I thought, wait, there's an easier way to do this. If I draw that line and that line, that's split into 3 equal parts. Each one n, 3, e times n minus 1, 2 dots. And that's the same. So that's why there's n times n minus 1 times 3, because there's 3 groups. And then there's plus 1. If you do the math, 3 times 2 is 6, times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19, and 3 is 7, then 14, 19. It's equal.
तो यहाँ करके बताओ ना.
So, if you really want me to show, 3 times n minus 1 is 2, is 6, times 3 is 18, plus 1 is 19. And if you count them, 7, 14, plus 5 is 19. So now, this final one. This one I drew multiple octagons, just because there's some points I need to make. First I looked at this, saw in the middle, wait, hold on. There's a square with each side is n. So let me try to find that here. That video may have ended, so let me just recap real quick. So yeah, in the previous video I was showing. Now, there's a square in each of them. Now you might be wondering, well, there are other bigger squares, like in this one there's a 5 by 5 square, and then this one there's also, but see, the thing about it is that this one is 6 by 6, but then it's missing some here, and this one is only 2 by 2, while this one is 5 by 5, and it gets confusing fast. So we're going to ignore that. Instead, we're going to focus on the same size. So now, first we have n squared ready. That's there. We know that it's at least n squared dots. So then we need to add stuff. So then I realized, wait, there's a rectangle here on all sides, which has side lengths. And I'll also outline it for this just for good measure. And then, sorry, there's the dot there. So, now each of them is n times n minus 1. This is 4 times 3, 3 times 2, 2 times 1. So now we know that's there. Then we can add. Now, here is where things got interesting. I thought at first we could use these dots on the 3, but no. If you look at the 4, this is just a mini triangle here, where it's n minus 2. So if you remember the triangle formula, and since there's 4 of these triangles, it's 4 n minus 2, because remember, you can even look here, it's 1, and 3 minus 2 is 1, and 2 minus 2 is 0, times n minus 2 plus 1, so minus 1, all over 2. So then that covers these, and this, and these. Now you might notice, this looks very different from this. Because now it's time for some math. So I actually made a mistake in the last video. So this is correct. This equals this, but only one of these. See, n4 times n minus 1, 3. That's one of these, but there's 4 of these, so there's actually supposed to be a 4 there. So now let's get on to the math. So 4 becomes a 2, and this 2 cancels. So then we have 2 n minus 2 n minus 1 over here. Then we can add n squared. Then we have plus 4 times n is n squared, and then n times minus 1 is minus n. There we go. That's our second formula. Still looks nothing like this, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Then 2 times n minus 2. Wait, so let's split these up. So I'll make this one x, and I'll make this one n. And then we have n squared in the middle. So we have x plus n squared plus, wait, no, I'll make it y plus 1. So now let's figure out x first. X is equal to, so we have n squared, so n times n is n squared, minus 2 times n is minus 2n, and n times minus 1 is minus 1n or minus n. So minus 2n minus 1n is minus 3n. That's a lot of minus. Then minus 2 times minus 1, well, minus cancel becomes a plus. So plus 2. Okay.
How it comes?
So plus 2, because negative number multiplied by a negative number equals a positive number. And I'm using dot for multiplication because that's how most mathematicians do it. Now we can distribute. 2 times n squared, 2n squared. 2 times minus 3n minus 6n. And 2 times 2, 4. Now this is what x is equal to. Now y is equal to for this. So 4n squared minus 4n. Simple. Now we can substitute these in. Now you can see we have 2n, 4n, and another lone n squared. That gives us 7. 4 plus 2 plus 1. 7n squared. Then we have plus, then we have here minus 6n minus 4n. That's minus 10n. So this plus should become a minus 10n. Then we have, of course, plus 4 here. Now this, it looks almost the same, but we have one last thing to do. See this part? They both have a common factor of n. Now, you don't need to know what that means. Basically, what it means is that we can take n and n, because n times n is n squared, and then we can put that like n, 7n minus 10 plus 4. Look familiar? That's the formula.
Okay.
Guys, anyway, that's it. Remember to wash your hands in the middle of this pandemic. And, well, math for life. Yeah, that's going to be my new outro for these math videos. Goodbye. Like and subscribe or I will come into your house and stomp on all your toys.